So here's the scenario. You've got a new crew member and they're trying to help you set up the boat, but they have to keep asking what line does what. And this one annoys you, and two can lead to things just getting set up wrong and frustration. So today we're going to add these really cool permanent labels onto the sheets and the halyards we use to we'll permanently label them in a way that will make it super easy for everybody on the boat to know what each rope does. This is also a great way to finish the end of the rope and stop it from unraveling. So this is one I've already done. This is the uphaul line. You can see it's a thin little line, and then it's got this little permanent label on it that's in a rubber housing. And this is professional looking, simple, and it's really, really easy and cheap to do. There's only two things we need to do this. A label maker with some plastic filament in it, so not the paper stuff, the actual plastic stuff. I'm just using white plastic label material in this one. And the secret, the trick to all of this, clear heat shrink. So this you can pick up online. I've got some links to it down in the video description. It's cheap. I think I paid $2.30 for like a meter of this stuff. And that was at a pretty expensive local store, not even online. So you can buy this in almost any size you want for every size of rope. And it's awesome. It's just like heat shrink, but it's clear, which means that we can put this over top of our label to hold it onto the rope. And there is our label. Now, we're just gonna put this onto our rope, and the adhesive backing on this stuff won't stick very well to our rope, but it will be enough to just kind of hold it in place while we slide the heat shrink over it. So now I just get my heat shrink, measure off a piece that's about an inch longer. I'm gonna start to slide this heat shrink over top of my rope, and then we're gonna peel off the backing on our label, stick it on, and then feed the heat shrink over top. Then we just get a lighter, or if we're really professional, we get a heat gun, but I don't have one of those right now, so just use a lighter, move it quickly, and you should be fine. The goal here is just to get the heat shrink warm, but of course not burn it. If you do this with a blowtorch, or if you do it with a lighter and keep it in one place for too long, you're gonna end up actually melting or burning the heat shrink, and that's really not good. That leads to, well, for one, it'll discolor the clear heat shrink and make it impossible to see through, which you don't want. And it also will leave some pretty nasty charcoal marks on the heat shrink itself, which is also less than ideal. Now you also want to ensure that you don't leave the heat on the area with the label for too long, because these labels are heat printed. So that means that if you heat up the label material, it'll actually go black, and that's how these printers work, and that's how they leave a permanent sticker. It's the same as a receipt machine. So if I grab one of these little label pieces and I get it hot, it goes black, and that's not just from burning. That's actually how this printer paper works, is it turns black when it gets hot. That's the same as receipt paper. So you just want to make sure that while you're heating up this heat shrink, you don't put the flame on the label for too long. Otherwise, you're going to ruin your label, and then you're going to have to start all over again. But if you take your time and you go slow, you will be fine. And just like that, we're done. A super easy way to add labels to whatever lines you've got in your boat. You can change the size of the label depending on what size rope you're using, change the size of the font, and then just go out and get a whole bunch of different size of clear heat shrink so that you can do whatever size of lines you've got on your boat. But a super easy way to make it easy to tell what line does what, and really make the new guy on the boat feel welcome and feel like he knows what's going on. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, get subscribed to Splicing Guru so you can stay on top of these videos and find them when you need them most. Until next time, guys, thank you very, very much for watching.